Greetings, students and families. My name is Mr. Sanger, and welcome to Human Anatomy. Let me begin by telling you a little bit about myself. So, I was actually born right here in Minnesota. I went to Mounds View High School. Interestingly, the colors of Mounds View High School are also green and white, so teaching here was an easy transition for me. I then went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I got my degree in zoology, which is basically a biology degree. I then went to Ohio State. They prefer to be called the Ohio State University, which always seemed a bit snobbish to me, where I got my master's degree in education. And then I moved to Colorado somewhat randomly to get my first teaching job. And I taught biology and AP biology there for 4 years, at which point I moved back closer to home to this area. And I've been teaching at Edina ever since. I believe it is my 17th year here at Edina Public Schools. And in that time, I've taught biology, enriched biology, chemistry, enriched chemistry. I've taught human anatomy for over 10 years, I think now. And now I'm teaching AP biology. So I've done a lot, I guess. So I also got my national board certification in 2010 and just recently renewed that. So what are we going to learn about in human anatomy this semester? Here's a list of topics, and basically we just go through the different body systems of, well, period, different body systems. And I got to tell you, you guys are in for a treat. This is an absolutely fascinating course because it's about your own body, and how can that not be fascinating to you? So, some highlights. First of all, dissection is a key part of this course, and you may be wondering, how's that going to work in 2020? And I'll be very honest, I'm not sure. We're starting to think about how that might work virtually and with in person, and I don't know. We're trying to figure it out, but we're going to try and do our best to kind of pull this off. So, we dissect brains, we dissect eyes, we dissect hearts, and then fetal pigs are kind of the grand finale. And again, I'm going to do my best. I have videos of these different things being dissected, but hopefully we can do a little bit better than that for those of you who are in class. We also have these things called mannequins. That is a registered trademark. I did not misspell the word mannequin. That is how they spell it. And basically, they're these little plastic models where we use clay to add different parts of anatomical features on. Again, kind of a work in progress how this is going to work, but I think that, I have a fair number of these mannequins, and so if we can get small groups and groups including maybe one in person, some virtual, we could probably pull off building these mannequins as we go as well. And then there's also an independent research project that is carried out where you get to kind of explore something that is of interest to you. And there's more information about that on Schoology, and we'll talk about that in the early days of school. Some common questions that parents are often kind of curious about. One, hey, are you that guy from Full House? The answer is no, I am not. That actually is a fairly old picture of me. I have more hair then. It's sad. Another common question, where do I find information about what my child will be learning about? Well, Schoology is the place. And let me just give you a brief tour. If you go to Schoology, you are going to find a folder for every single unit in the course. And within that folder, you will find these subfolders. So the first one for every unit is always going to be notes and study guide. And if you click on the study guide, you will find a few things. The first thing in the study guide will be this list of objectives that tells you exactly what you're expected to know and be able to do by the time of the test. There's also a unit outline included with each of those. The notes are, Google slideshows, and the Google slideshow follows this outline pretty much exactly. And so I like to include this outline so you can kind of, when you're taking notes, you can see how ideas relate to each other, and what ideas are subheadings of other ideas, etc. So the notes are available to you, slideshows are available to you, as well as this outline to kind of help you take notes. Now, new this year is a folder called Screencasts. I spent much of my spring and then some of these waning days of summer developing screencasts where I basically am going through all the major important concepts for the course. In fact, I just finished the final one a few days ago. So the entire course has now been screencast, and we have no idea what's going to happen this year, but no matter what, the screencasts are there so we can convey the basic course information through that no matter what. So I'm happy to have that done, and I'm hopeful that you'll find them helpful. Even those of you in person will at least have that as a reference. Um, Another common question, what kind of homework and practice will my student be engaged with? Well, again, if you go to Schoology, you'll see another folder, homework, quizzes, and practice questions. If you click on that, you see some things. First of all, for all the kind of major ideas within a unit, there is going to be an individual quiz that assesses that. Now, what's interesting about these quizzes is they are graded electronically. So the student would read the question, drop down menu, answer it, and then when they click, check, then it pulls up and tells you which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong. So this is a great resource for practicing working with the content. There are also some more sophisticated questions under here. The problem with having a computer graded is that we're limited to multiple choice and matching kinds of things. So these practice questions look more like this, where we get into a little bit higher level thinking, compare, contrast, describe the anatomical position and other things. Note that answers are available to those so you can check your work and make sure you understand. So there's plenty of practice available online as well. How do I monitor my progress, my child's progress? Well, grades are going to be posted to Schoology, and I did want to point out that when I put items in the grade book, I usually give very descriptive titles. So you can see if you just look at these percents, ooh, something happened here on quiz 1B neurons. And so by giving it that descriptive name neurons, that means you can go back to these other resources and you can say, okay, let's go back to that homework quiz on neurons. Let's pull up these practice questions, find the section called neurons, and go back and get more practice. So I'm hoping that you can kind of use the information in the gradebook as feedback to figure out what resources you need to go back and explore. And that name neurons will fly, it'll carry over from the screencast through the slideshows. You'll be able to hopefully find what you need fairly efficiently. A final question that you may be wondering is how can I help? And golly, we would love some donations of hand sanitizer. 2020 has been full of surprises, but one thing that I'm pretty sure we can bank on is that hand sanitizer would be a great thing to have in the classroom. Yeah, right now we don't have much. So if you are interested in helping out, we would love some donations of hand sanitizer. So that's it. I recognize this is going to be a very unique school year, but I promise I'm going to do my best to keep your child safe and learning, whether it's in person or digital. I will do my best. So here we go. Let's buckle up, everybody. Thanks.